Hello, everyone. It's Annette. This is In the Know 360, bringing you unfiltered stories, game, and exclusive drops from the next wave of stars. And now you're locked into In the Know 360, where real conversations meet raw talent. Let's go. Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to In the Know 360, show hosted by me, Annette, the warm-hearted warrior diva. This show gives you insights on the journeys of high-achieving business owners and music artists who share with the audience the importance of building a strong community of like-minded individuals on the road to greater success. And tonight, I have the pleasure and honor of welcoming again, I don't know how many times this is, but Kxng Jacob to the show from the Anko. Hey.
What up? What up? What up? I'm glad to be here back again. We've had a great series. The series has been going really good. I am King Jacob. That is actually my handle in my Instagram for anybody that wants to follow me. Um, and yeah, I'm blessed to be here again for another show. Um, yeah, let's wrap this series up. And thank you, Annette, and in the Now 360 for hosting me and having me come on here and be able to talk about life. You know what I mean, and all the things going on.
Oh, yes. One of my favorite artists, everyone, uh, on the top list, VIP. So let's go ahead and dive right into this because we were talking about relationships the last time, the ups and downs, and today we're going to talk about closure, comebacks, and collabs. Oh my God. I'm going to give the mic to you, but we're going to talk about is it closure or cap, right? And the first question is, do you think closure is something you get from someone or something you give yourself?
Mm, absolutely. Um, yeah, if I can say it, closure starts with you. You know what I mean? You can give somebody else closure too, but it really boils down to you on how you want to basically just moving on, and how you want to accept things that have happened, and you really got to dig deep, look into yourself, and be like, did I do everything that I could do in this situation? Especially in relationships, did I show up the way that I want to? And if I didn't, can you forgive yourself for not doing those things that you should have done? Because after they're gone, the person's gone, that's when you start remembering all the things. They start flooding back in, like, oh, I should have done that, or I could have been a better person at this point. You know what I mean? And that's part of shadow work all together. It's just in a relationship setting, and then accepting the fact that things made it, they didn't turn out the way that they should have, and then you can forgive someone else. You know what I mean? Without even telling them, I forgive you, and then move on. So I think, yeah, closure is something for yourself for more than anything right in the beginning, and then you leave it at that. You keep it moving, and yeah, that's the only place that's the beginning of growth and moving on to a new chapter.
Yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned the shadow work, and thank you for also creating that shadow work song, which I which I love. Um,
Out in
I
Apple, by the way, out in Apple, you can look it
there you
up.
go.
King Jacob, shadow work, definitely.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because lately, more than ever, I've been doing more shadow work. But in the very beginning of my healing process, right, it was like I need that closure. I really need that closure from that person.
Hmm.
But I realized that, you know how they say karmic, right? So if you're with a karmic person, that's not going to happen. And you're karmic yourself. And instead of revitalizing your spirit, right, and not being karmic, I mean, there's good karma, bad karma, but like the bad karmic or the toxic karmic or
Hmm.
however you want to say it, I realized that through the years, when I in my younger years, I'm like, I need that closure. Why did he call me? Why didn't we settle this? You know, the ghosting and all this stuff. Because we kind of talked about ghosting and I think a couple episodes back.
Yeah.
And I realized that I don't need closure. I make my own closure. You know, no answer is an answer. That's what I've realized, you know, through life and relationships and the dating aspects. Um, and it's sometimes it's a trickle effect, like a domino effect, where you're like, okay, you make peace with it, and the individual contact you like a year later, you know, like months later, a year later, and you're like, I'm good. You know, I'm Gucci.
I'm goofy. Absolutely.
So, but that's my perspective on that. Moving on, who here, right? I'm talking to the audience as well, has ever tried to get closure and ended up reopening that wound instead? I mean, you could answer.
Oh, I'm all like, you
I'm
talking to the
waiting for.
audience. I'm all
I'm,
looking around like, where the audience at?
I'm waiting. Oh, there's some
I don't see.
audience here
Oh, okay.
on
I'm all like,
Instagram
I'm over
land.
at my side. I'm all like, where the audience at? I didn't know there's people in my bedroom. I don't like, no, it's not. Um, you hit us a really important topic, um, in an aspect of it that's really key. Finding closure for yourself is because you have to find the pieces of yourself, put them back together, right? Part of the reason why people want to get that validation and closure from people is because we're already pre-programmed. The type of people that we are, we're already pre-programmed to look for external validation, whether that be, I believe in a higher power, a source, the universe. Not to knock anybody else who believes in God the way that in the biblical aspect, I believe in God, but not in the biblical aspect. I believe in God empowerment within you. You know what I mean? You are already a queen. You're a god. You're a goddess on this planet right now, and you hold dominion over everything that's in your life. Your life choices are made by you, and that's God empowerment. And divinity is the source power. It's the same source of everything that we are all connected through one consciousness. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And we're collecting data, sending it back to that same source. Um, that's my belief of it all. So a lot of it is based off of, you know, I need a salvation outside of myself to help
Mhm.
intervene. Which don't get me wrong, that's the energy, right? You can tap into that energy. So I'm not knocking anybody for that. Tap into that energy. That energy is really good for you. But also know that you are the engineer. You can only lead a person to the water. They still have to drink the water. You know what I mean? If you're
Yeah.
thirsty enough, you'll drink the water. You know what I mean? Other people, the pride will keep them from drinking the water. You know.
Mm.
So when I bring it back and tie it into what you just said, um, yeah, that closure can come from within when you put the pieces of yourself back together and you're a whole and you're a person, right? And you find yourself at peace with yourself and in your being. And so you'll need to look for that outside closure. You know what I mean? You validate yourself. You don't need
Right.
somebody to tell you you look good, you
Mhm.
sound good, you smell. That's part of like, before we start the show and we talk about this. Part of what we talk about when you're like, um, you're attracting those people. You're attractive because you've made yourself whole. You put the pieces of
Mm.
yourself back together. You know what I mean? You're no longer searching outside. And so those
Right.
people who are searching outside are looking for that light. Well, you became that beacon already. You know what I mean? That's the reason why those people are attracted to you.
Mm.
No matter what, you've magnetized your signal, right? And expanded. You've
Yeah.
magnetized, yeah, when you magnetize your signal, it's expanding, it's going out wide, right? And people are picking up in that signal, that light source of, oh, because we're just built that way. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Everybody wants to cheer for what's good and what's going on, or they want to tear down what's good and what's going on because they're like, well, my life is going good. I don't, let me just ruin somebody else's. one way or another, but you're going to attract that, So, yeah, making yourself whole, bringing it back together, um, and being who you want to be, living
Yeah.
your life. And closure will allow you to do that so that you can move on forward.
Yeah. Like Janet Jackson says, like a moth to a flame. I'm
She had it
just
right,
playing.
right?
I don't know if I want to be that flame though. So it's like
You,
a lot of
I'll,
started.
I'll be the flame.
This,
I'm a Sagittarius. I have no other choice but to be the flame, baby. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I'm gonna be the flame. I got a lot of earth in my chart, but I'm a Sagittarius through and through. And when it
yeah.
shows, it shows.
And I'm a Leo, so we both fire
Hey,
signs. Like, listen,
hey, hey. You know what I'm saying?
I love you until I don't love you anymore. And
Absolutely.
once I close the door, the door
It's
is
done.
closed.
It's done.
Sorry.
You done lost the flame. It's like blowing it out. Flame is done. You gotta, you know.
Yeah, I'm learning discernment, right? And when people come to you or come at you with their unhealed soul or spirit or whatever you want to call frequency,
Mhm.
energy, um, because I know that it's not their fault for being uneducated or unaware of what's really going on in this whole universe and the dynamic and that frequency that they're exuding, right? And sometimes, you got the ego, you got the id. So, like, like telling the ego, okay, okay, come on. And that they don't know any better. So you have to, for me, I'm like telling myself, you have to be, chill. You have to be more understanding. And I have a way. And I would tell my son, he's a Sagittarius. Well, we talked about it. My son,
Yeah.
he's a Sagittarius. And I'm like, when he talks to me, he's direct. And he'll say it the way he says it. I'm like, what is it? What did I say? The way you say things comes off like cut throat, right?
Yeah.
And I sometimes, and I realizing that about myself too. Like sometimes I come off like very direct, uh, in a polite way, but direct. And I think that throws people off in whatever thought process that they're, trying to relay, right? Their information that they're trying to relate to me. Anyway, I'm going to ring around the rosy here, but basically, in a nutshell, I think closure is needed for self, like going back to what you said, in order for you to move on to the next level, like a video game, the next level of that elevation in
Mhm.
life, you know? And I choose not to interact with people that brings my frequency lower or
Mhm.
lowers the frequency.
Yeah.
That's just my thought on that.
Yeah. No, that discernment is very important. And using discernment is tapping into your intuition. Um, it's kind of like a Geiger counter. You know what I mean? You're gonna put that out there to see if there's radiation. And the
Yeah.
radiation is that negative frequency that you don't want. And everybody has that negative frequency. So you might get a few clicks off of this person and just click, 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 click. I can deal with this. This other person where this guy or clown is like click, 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 like, oh man, I can't deal with that. That's basically what the intuition is telling you. It's like, they throw out like good vibes only. Well, the vibes that's what we're talking about. That
Right.
person got some off vibes, then you got to use that discernment. Your discernment is understanding who to deal with and who not to deal with. And that comes from spiritual growth from within.
Right.
Um, and it's like kind of like those people who are like, man, I know I shouldn't be dealing with this person because my intuition telling me so, but I'm just so damn attracted to them. So I'm gonna stick with them. I'm gonna stick it out because it's fun. I'm gonna stick it out because
Mm.
the sex is good. I'm gonna stick it
Right.
out because they got money. I'm gonna stick it out because
Mm.
they cook well. I'm gonna stick it out because I love his family, but I can't stand his ass. You know what I mean? Like you choose all these reasons to stick it out, and your intuition is telling you no. I
Mm.
want you to become whole. I want you to
Right.
become a solid person. So close the door and I got
Right.
your back. close the door and I got your back. And then, in a twin flame situation, depending on how that
Mm.
dynamic was, that person might be giving those same signals.
Uh,
And if you guys can both choose to be like, okay, nope, let's separate, let's go down a different path, let's figure this out, and where we can become whole again on different sides of the fence, you
mhm,
possibly will come back together. However, you don't necessarily have to. And you might find that you found somebody that's better, that brings you peace, and that's another thing too. When you find somebody that brings you some peace and security, that's a very special sacred union.
mm,
When it's like, okay, here's a situation where an argument could come up, but instead of arguing, we're just talking like adults should talk. You know what
mhm.
I mean?
Yeah.
That's when you find that's a divine counterpart for me. And
Mhm.
then it almost goes without words spoken. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You're reading minds at this point. You're
Right.
understanding each other's frequency, honestly. You're understanding each other's frequency. You understand, like, hey, this is um I know what's going on with you. I know, you're talking to me without words. Like,
Mhm.
it's almost like you get that nod, like, yep, I get it. I feel you, you know. Or when you get to that point where it's like, um, I knew you were gonna text me. I knew that was you
Mhm.
calling, getting ready. I was just ready to call you, and you called me because
Mhm.
you have a signal that bounces back and forth with one another. So that's a tall tale sign that you're with a divine counterpart. Now,
Mm.
there are some karmics that are like that, and it's all like, well, you
Yeah.
gotta you gotta understand how you feel when you're with that person. Are you stressed out and gaining weight all the time, or are you
Mm.
is that
That
person
part.
edifying you and you're dropping and you're living your life healthy, you're sleeping well, you know what I mean? You're breathing, you can breathe, or is that person smothering you with emotions and negativity? You know what I mean? Not to say that emotions are bad, but I'm just saying, like, unchecked ones can
Mhm.
cause a lot of stress, a lot of volatility in a relationship too.
Wow, you brought up some great points in regards to divine, like you have like the divine masculine, divine feminine, and I'm learning about all these things and the whole nurture of your divine counterpart, right? Because have you ever felt a sense of an individual coming to your life and they just felt like home? I mean, like I don't know how to explain it.
I know it.
You do?
Yeah, I know it. I'm in it.
Right.
I know it. I know
Just
exactly
kidding.
what you're talking about. And it's not that I haven't felt that before, but it's like it's a comfort level that you get when you're with a specific person. That's where the collab comes in, right?
Yeah.
Where you start to
Yeah.
collab, not to get off the base of the closure, because you need the closure in order for you to be able to collab. You know what I mean? I'll say something on here that I haven't spoke about before, but like, I'm a avid tarot card reader. I could read cards, I could read energy, I read everything. I do tarot card readings for a lot of people who seek out, and they're like, hey, I need something, and yeah, well, there's a fee, because not everything is
Right.
like it took me a long time to get to that point, because I was all like, man, if you're doing something divine, you shouldn't have to pay for it. You know what I mean? And it's just righteous. And I'm all like, what? That's expelling energy. And your energy
Mm.
is it's not it's valuable.
Right,
You
right,
know what I mean? It's worth something. Your time, your energy is
right.
worth something. So that's why I get to the point where I start charging people for it. But in tarot, we talk about the world card, you know.
Yeah. Mhm.
And sometimes that tower card has to hit so that world card,
Mhm.
can be, and it's one or the other. That world card is that closure, you know what I mean? Closing that
Yep.
cycle, closing that cycle out. Um, and then endings are just new beginnings. That's all they are. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
And
Yep.
once you understand that, when things end, you're not being beat up. You're like, okay, what's on to the next? Because
Right.
there's more, and it's easy. Probably for you too, but like, as a Sagittarius, it's easy for me to, all right, on to the next. And I try not to just go into things and be like, they're just cycles, but like, life is full of them. That's
Yeah.
one of the 12 laws of the universe is the law of cycles. You know what I mean? And there's going to be new cycles that there's cycles that close, cycles that start again, and you start into a new cycle.
Yeah, it's yeah. Wow, yeah, I'm speechless because I mean now that you brought this up and so it's an anecdotal thing that you'll bring up and I'm like, oh, okay, now I get it.
Hmm.
It's like a puzzle, right?
Yep.
And you're giving me little pieces of King Jacob. Okay, I'm putting this piece together.
Yes.
um, but I totally agree with the cycle, right? And I feel like you wonder why because energy is energy, right? And if you have so much potential energy and it becomes chaotic, you have to release it somehow. And I believe the shift we were talking about earlier, that I was super drained this week. And I'm like, why do I, why am I so drained? And it was because of the shift, the closing out of cycles,
Absolutely.
the transition, everything that I tell you about my transition. So it's just really interesting how things are working out. And it seems like sometimes that shift, there's like it's like a cogwheel and it gets stuck. It's like, okay, I'm trying to get the cogwheel to turn,
Hmm.
but there's, I guess, like static. I guess when we're talking radio, we're talking frequency, like there's some static going on. You don't know why that static is there. And I'm probably
No, no, no.
going
You're on
crazy.
point. No,
So I'm like, well, there must be a reason why there's a static. Maybe there's some unfinished business that I'm supposed to do in this phase that I'm in. Like,
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, only you would know that. That's like again with your discernment. Like if you're if you sit silent enough, if you sit in solitude, not necessarily just silence and where it's like, oh, I'm lonely, lonely, I'm so no, not like that, but in a sense of being like, I'm sitting in solitude, like actual solitude, where I can sit in quiet time for myself. You're gonna hear what needs to be done. You know what I mean?
mhm,
And it really just depends on what aspects of your healing journey that you are, because some people will
right,
sit in solitude and scroll all day. You know what I mean? They will. It's true.
right,
I've seen it where they're like, "Ugh, ugh," and this is mindlessly scrolling, and then their brain is just going on all these different directions. And meditating and centering yourself will allow you to have a solid mind where you can turn that off, turn that switch off. You know what I mean? The
right,
TV of your mind needs to be turned off, and you need to be able to find a place where you can recharge. And
hmm,
sometimes when you're drained, I mean, it's like your cell phone. You can only use your cell phone so long before you got to charge it back up again. And
right,
we are just like that. We're cells. That's what we're made up of them. We're made up of cells, right? You need to
right,
recharge the cell. The water is one place that you can recharge.
yeah,
The earth is one place to recharge. You know
yeah,
what I mean? You need rest. So when you get to that
mm,
point where you're drained, and now I feel like it's getting it's a little bit, we're going beyond relationships and we're going on how you can be as a human in this world, and actually the gifts that are granted to you in order for you to become. Some people is church, some people is praying, some people I need to go to church and pray, and there's nothing wrong with that. If it recharges you, do it. You know what I mean?
right,
If it's what gives you that joke that like, hey, I can keep going on, keep going on. You know what I mean?
right,
You just, there's some other stuff that you can do too. We talk about grounding a lot, and putting your feet in the sand or in the dirt or outside in some grass if it's not full of snow. You know what I mean? If you can go
right.
somewhere else and get some, um, then it's a good idea. Like hell, I'll even go. I'm People are like, I'm Colorado black. If I got to go put my feet in the snow, I'm gonna do it. Not for long, but I'm gonna go and do it. But if it means that I got to go out there and get it cracking just to center
Right.
myself, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it because that's how my discipline works. That's what makes me whole again. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
that's very important. So yeah, in order to like when you close out and closing out cycles are volatile. Sometimes closing
Yeah.
cycles out are they go, when they're like go out with a bang.
Yeah.
The truth. There's truth behind that. Some closing cycles out aren't always easy, but it's necessary in order for us to grow. But that's why they
Right.
call it growing pains in the beginning. You know what I mean? Um, some stuff is just it doesn't feel good, but it's necessary for you to grow as a person in this life and then unto the next. So,
Right. No, going back to home, right?
and home, yes, having somebody
Yeah.
for you, yes.
It's really interesting because I've met people that I'm like, oh wow, I think this one guy, I thought, wow, he's my soulmate, he's gonna be my husband, blah blah blah. But I think it was like a karmic. You know how you get so, I don't even know how to explain it. I mean, we were platonic the whole time, like years and years and years. Um, but it was our energy. I felt like we connected. You know what I mean? Like we didn't have to have sex or any type of that sort. It was just we really gelled. But then I realized later in life that no, this is. Then I met somebody else, and I'm like, it was just a hug, and I was like, what the hell is this? you know, and it felt like home, and that's the only thing I could. That's the only way I could disclose it or like
So yeah,
define it.
and some of those people that you hug, it's just because they're very advanced spiritually in their journeys too, and you can feel that even when it comes down
Yeah,
to just hugging them. But I know what you're talking about. When it's like it's just something about somebody's energy that makes you just feel enriched. You know what I mean, and
yeah,
edified. You those people when you're in that relationship where you're like, man, I just love being around this person for the
yeah.
way that they think. And I'm sapiosexual through and through. So
Right.
you talk some big words to me. You talk with very highly intelligent for me, and I'm just like in awe, like, oh my goodness, look at this girl. You know what I mean? Like serious. That's what's attractive to me too. One thing, but that's just who I am as a person. But when you're with that person, that just makes you feel like you're at home. It's also being seen and being felt and being heard and
Right.
acknowledged through it all too. Like that's a very important thing too as well. That makes you feel real good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that type of energy is rare, but it's out there, and
Yeah.
you have to be a type of person. And we'll get in our heads too about people where we're like, oh, I don't know if I could be with this person because they seem like they got it all together. And you'll be like, start thinking in yourself, like, I don't have it all
Mm,
together. You know what I mean? But if that person's really truly divine, then they don't really care if you have it all together or not. They just want to help you figure it out, you know?
mm,
And those karmics, the tricky thing about those karmics is that they're almost like shapeshifters, right? Like
mm,
they'll come into your life and tell you all the right words, everything. Not mean it a bit. You got to read between the lines with those karmics because a karmic will tell you things. You know what I mean? And especially when they're telling you things about what's healed in them, like,
mm,
oh, I've did this work and I've done this and then the inside of this and I'm just a very person who's very into nature and this, that, and other, yada, yada, yada. Listen
mhm.
to those words because those are telling you that those karmas are usually telling you about all the shit that they need they need to work at.
Ah,
You know what I mean? I don't know how
mhm,
many times I've dated a woman and she's told me all these things about herself. Like I've done this and this, that, and yada, yada, yada. And then I'm paying attention to them. And I'm like, oh, she's not telling me that she's done these things. She's telling that she's showing me that this is what she needs to work on. And another
mhm,
thing too is a karmic will draw out some of the most nastiest parts of yourself.
mhm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I know. I had
It's the nature
experience.
it's the nature of the karmic relationship is to draw out a lot of those nasty things that you are like, I can't even believe them. Like, and then it's a toxic volatility, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
within a relationship, which they call toxic relationships. And then you just are at each other's throats. 24/7, 365. Neither one of you are wrong for it.
Mm,
You know what I mean? It's just the nature of being in a karmic relationship. Um, no, a narcissist, that's totally different because they know they're doing it on purpose. They're doing it for a reason. And they're good energy readers as well. And they
mm,
know the parts of you that aren't healed. So they're gonna attack the parts of you that aren't healed on
mm.
purpose. On purpose. And that's, we all have narcissistic tendencies,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
a true narcissist does it on purpose. You know what I mean? And
Knows what but mhm.
yeah, yeah. A true narcissist does it on purpose. We and and they're just trying to just get a rouse out of you. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Just how can I feed on this person's misery or making them feel
Right.
down or whatever. And you know, it's just it's sad, but it's true. It's out there, and those narcissists narcissists can be very charming individuals. They can be very loving individuals who show you
Yeah.
all the comfort in the world. You know what I mean? But they just want you to be in chaos
Mm. All
24/7,
the time.
365. Yep.
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 And they're always right. They're never wrong.
Absolutely. Narcissist is always right.
You're
They
the
will-
you're the issue. You're the problem.
Yeah.
They're not.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. You're always the issue. Everything's on you. I know everything. You don't
Yep.
know anything. Yep. Absolutely.
Man. So, okay, I know we've been talking about, but this is actually very helpful because it's going to dive into the whole relationship and how we can create, relationships, positive relationships for ourselves. And I going into dream states, right? So, you know how we were talking earlier about telepathic ways and how you're like thinking about calling someone or your significant other, and they're like, "Hey, I was just gonna call you, whatever." Do you dream or have you dreamt about people that just random? It's just like a random, like random dreams of individual. Like for I'll give you an example. The person I felt like he was home to me, it's just a friend, right? But like I had so many dreams about him. Some I can't really recollect, but I know that it
Mhm.
was him. I don't know why. uh eh, have you had any experiences of that of such?
Yes. I'm just like,
Uh-oh. Am I putting you
no,
on
no,
the
no, no,
spot?
no, no, no. You're not putting me in the spot, but yes. No, I'm just laughing because I just my straightforward answer. Um, no, yes, of course I've had dreams about, and I dream about a lot of different people, you know what I mean, here and there, and have. Is it all the time? No, I don't. I'm more of it comes to me in vision and thought while I'm awake versus dreaming. Um, but when the dream is there, I do pay attention to it. It allows me to understand and remember my dreams a lot more just because I don't dream as much. So when a dream hits and when it comes into me in a dream form, then it's like, okay, then it's really a little, it's like, okay, I really need you to pay attention to this. But yeah, yeah, that's happened quite a bit. Like, when people pop up in your mind and you're like, oh, what the other person doing? And then they call you, you're sending a signal out towards that person and calling them within, or they're thinking about you as well. That's what we are. We're homing beacons to each other more than anything. And yes, some people is all like, well, show me the science. There's no science that backs it up, because they gotta be validated from a external
Give me the
source.
abstract. Oh, because you
Yeah.
where is it on PubMed? I want to see.
If I can't read it, then it doesn't mean anything. If it's not in a book, it doesn't mean anything. Well, they wrote a book that I'll write it down next time and then read it, and then it's true now because I wrote it. It's just silly, but yeah, we're homing beacons, so that was naturally we just do that. You know
Right.
what I mean? When you're thinking about somebody and they call you, or you're thinking about something, they text you, or you know what I mean? When you're thinking about pizza and somebody delivers you something good to eat, and you're like, oh, it's pizza. Oh, I was just thinking now how much I wanted pizza. But this is how it works more than anything. And I think that yeah, I think that's a that's definitely a thing. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'll leave one more thing about dreaming. I've had, maybe I'll go ahead and say whatever, premonition, right?
Mm,
Of like a bad thing that happened.
mm,
And I was in the army. We kind of talked about my
mm.
military service. This was back in 1996 or 95 or 90, whatever.
Damn.
And I,
I'm done. I'm done.
I'm so young.
I'm
Um,
messing with you.
um,
My bad.
we,
I said it and it just came out.
I'm still 30. I was gonna say 27, but you know how old my kids are.
Right.
Anywho, so I was wearing the green camouflage right back then. I like the wood forest green, whatever,
Mhm,
camouflage. And so I had this crazy dream that I was in an urban war,
mm,
like in a desert, it's like urban ish.
mhm,
And the uniform was digital. Um, and that was 96 or whatever. And then 9/11 happened
mhm.
and the digital uniforms came about. And I'm like, what the hell? And it
Yep.
was urban war.
Yep.
And I scared myself because I'm like, wait, I don't even. Mind you, it was in the late 90s. And then, that's the thing came to fruition. I'm like, I don't want to dream anymore, man. This is crazy.
Hmm.
You ever had like dreams kind of
Yeah.
that?
I definitely have. I mean, and if we can, yeah, I've definitely had premonitions and visions of. Now I feel like I'm being interrogated about my psychic abilities.
Uh oh.
No, it's all joke. I'm messing with you. No, I think everybody has those moments where they think about like they're like I've seen this before, deja vu. I've been here
Yeah.
before. And having those dreams of stuff that comes about. Um, and then actually understanding why is why did I dream about that beforehand?
Yeah.
And personally, I think it's just this it's a remembering, right, of who you are and the power that you actually hold within,
Mm,
and to reconnect you because your body's always when it comes to it, and we can talk about this through and through, and I'm a strong believer. We have chakras within us,
yeah.
7 chakra bodies, and we got to connect all these chakra bodies back together, right? And in
Hmm.
order, when you're able to do that, that's that remembering. And so there's parts of you that's just like, okay, why did I have that dream of something and then it came to fruition? Was it for me to stop something? Was it no? It's just for you to understand that's an ability that you have. That's also an
Wow.
ability that you have. Clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentient, all the other clairs, Claire around Claire Huxtable, you know what I mean? All the clairs that you can think of. But yeah, you have all these abilities that are within you. And when you can when we get to the portion where we're talking about the closure, and then it comes to the collaboration, right?
Hmm.
Well, the number one source of collaborating is the universe. You start to
Yeah.
collaborate with the universe first because you have to put yourself back together. The universe is going to allow collaboration with it or God collaboration. You know what I mean? When you manifest, that's an action that goes along with it.
Yeah.
Until you get to a point where it's like, man, you can say some stuff and it's going to happen. You're very powerful. Be careful with your words. Be careful with your thoughts. Be careful with all these things that's going on with you because you'll be that person that's you know, and not saying that you're not going to be like Magneto,
Right.
like, you're not going to be up there like,
Professor X.
I'm gonna have a stroke trying to think of some stuff. You know what
That's
I'm saying?
crazy. Yeah.
But yeah, you can, I mean, and again, it's for your world. It's not, I think I had somebody talk about like, they blame themselves for certain events happening. And I'm all like,
Mm,
that's not how that works. You know what I mean?
right.
Certain circumstances, events happening because the law of cycles, the law of, of relativity, and law, all these different things that we have to understand that this is just the way that things go,
Yeah.
you know? I don't know, everybody gets all bent out of shape over our the way that our government is. And it makes sense because we're
Mhm.
living this life right now and we want life to be better, right? And one of the things that we got to understand is that in 1,000 years from now, this ain't even gonna be life the way that we know it. There's a lot
Right.
of places that's gonna be piles of rubble because it's got to be destroyed. It's gonna be destroyed, and for us to rebuild new again,
Hmm.
and that's the law. That's just the way the cycles go. So let your relationship be one of them too. Let
Right.
that old pattern be one of it. That old thing that you used to do that you no longer want to do anymore. Let that fall to the wayside. It's okay to let go. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I got a song called "Let Go" featuring
Right.
Zakia. You know what I mean? Go listen to it on wherever you listen to music. Let's go Apple, since
Right.
Spotify wants to support Ice. Like, let's go with Apple.
It's
Like,
crazy.
you know what I mean? Apple Music is or Title. Well, you can even go to
Yeah.
Title. I don't even know if we're gonna do Title anymore. Jay-Z over here,
Mm.
it's crazy. You know what I mean? SoundCloud. You
Right.
know,
Yeah. SoundCloud. There you go.
here's even better, even is another one too. Like, you buy the music actually literally from the artist. Let's go with even. You know what I mean? Let's get
Okay.
back to buying music from artists, people.
Or
You know.
Bandcamp. Is Bandcamp still good?
Uh
Bandcamp.
I sure, I don't know what Bandcamp
Oh.
is that much
Oh.
as well, you know what I mean?
It's
But possibly.
the yeah. You could buy straight out like 9.99, 15.99,
Nice.
whatever
Yeah,
the.
yeah. Anywhere you can buy straight from the artist. Let's get back to doing that stuff again because these people are just all they're doing is mooching off of us. But sure, getting our names out there, that's fine. That's
Hmm.
cool. But drop an album uneven. It'll be $1. I need 1,000 people to buy it. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Oh, it's $1.
It's only $1. Why was a
Yeah.
thousand people just now you got some good music to listen to. Download it.
Hmm.
So that's just sorry, I digress, but
No.
that's just a part of it too, is like letting go of all the stuff that you need to let go of. You got to end
Right.
cycles so you can collaborate, because I don't know how I'm going to fit more clothes in my closet
Mm.
if I got a closet full of clothes. How am I put new
Right.
clothes in that closet full of old clothes? You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I got to
Right.
get rid of some stuff.
Yeah.
I got to take
Dirk.
some stuff out. You know what I mean? And it's okay. You might be attached to it tooth and nail. You might even have
Right.
sentimental value. You know what I mean? Like, nah, I wore this jacket when my great grandmother died. Well, if there's a secret place you go keep that, that's fine. But if you have a million jackets that mean something to you, you got to let go of something.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Canola water and all that stuff. And if you have that problem where you just got a bunch of stuff that you're just holding on to, like, you got to understand why. Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Why won't you let go of things? You know what I mean? Um, when I move out of my place, I'm all like, what can I get rid of? You know what
Right.
I mean? That's what I think. What can I
Yeah.
get rid of? Just to have some new stuff in here. Yeah. So it's a big portion.
Yeah. And that includes the frequencies or energies that are around you. I know I had to cut some people. It's sometimes it's difficult because you want to you want you have a good heart and you want people that you wish that would have had a good heart to you as well. You
Yeah.
know, the
Absolutely.
sentimental value, I guess, of a individual. But you have to let it go and come back to that closure
Absolutely.
for folks. So
Absolutely. And it's okay to do that too. You know what I mean? I mean, it's okay for you to miss people too. You know what I mean? Like, you can miss somebody that didn't mean well for you, that like, I won't say that didn't mean well for you, but you're in a toxic situation with. It's okay for you to miss that person. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That's natural. You're human. You're built with compassion too. You know what I mean? Like, you
yeah,
can't just always just be like F everybody. You got to come to a point where it's like you that part of you let go of that part too, and you wish people
yeah,
well along their journey, and you hope that they do good in life. That's how I am.
yeah.
All my
Stay.
exes, all my exes, listen to me now. I hope you do good in life. You know what I mean?
No.
You're wrong for that. You're wrong for that. I mean it. I mean it. You know what I mean? I hope you heal. I hope you do good in life, because
True.
it's hard enough for us out here. You know what I mean? It's very
Yeah,
hard for us out here. So
that's true.
we need compassion. We need love. You know what I mean? We need that. I'm gonna get on the microphone and murder the microphone, but in real life, like, love each other,
Yeah,
show each other the kindness that you want to be shown. You know, show that.
yeah. I totally agree. To all my exes too, and family members that I cut ties with, peace and blessings. I hope all is well with you guys.
Mhm.
No, I mean, you have to love from afar, and I feel for me when I disconnected, when I let go and cut that tie off, it's like I felt so relieved. I felt like I could fly. No pun intended, R. Kelly, but um,
Flu. One flew
but
over the cuckoo.
I felt so relieved because now I can just do me and not have to worry about appeasing people
Mhm,
that wasn't appeasing to me, if that makes
mhm.
sense. It was very I don't know. It's and people may think, "Oh, that's callous, that's cold." No, I'm looking out for myself, my spirit, and having more of a positive life,
Yeah, you
and
said
also
yes.
positive for my kids.
Absolutely. Setting healthy boundaries with yourself. Absolutely. You got to have them.
Yeah,
If you don't have healthy boundaries with yourself, anybody can just flow in and out. Like, that's my number one lesson that I had to learn in life. You know what I mean? I just let anybody interfere with anything that was going on with me. And you have to learn how to have healthy boundaries with yourself. Healthy boundaries are, I'm not going to eat after, 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock. That's a healthy boundary that you're having with yourself,
yeah,
because you know that you want to be able to start that digestion process, I can't even talk. You know what I'm talking about.
yeah,
That process, you know
yeah,
what I mean? So that you're not having terrible sleep and you know what I mean, all
yeah,
this other stuff. So yeah, it's very important for you to have these healthy boundaries with yourself. Absolutely. And then have them with everybody else, and stay
yeah.
firm on them and tell people respect my boundaries. You know what I mean?
Right.
I
Well,
even talked about, I have a song that I said I want called By Myself. You know what I mean? And
uh,
I'm all like, there's a line and I don't want you to cross it. And if you
yeah,
cross it, you're gonna get the villain version of me, not the nice casual person. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, don't cross that line. Just respect my boundaries. I respect your
yeah,
boundaries. You
yeah.
know what I mean? And there's a few people that try to invade into that. And you know
Mm,
what I mean? And I'm all like, keep crossing that boundary. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna learn
yeah,
that I'm not a nice person anymore. And it's okay for me to not be nice to you because you
right.
didn't respect me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I will not be nice to you with love.
There you go.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I will be like, I wish you well and I wish a nigga would. No, you know what I mean?
Right. Right. No, like I feel you. I mean, you've seen that I don't know what it's called, but it's a there's like circles. There's like bubbles. There's like the center, the core, then you have another circle, then
Hmm.
another circle, kind of like the onion or something.
Hmm. Yep.
And so what I realized is that I put a lot of people in the core, right? And I shouldn't have. And so now, you're backtracking, you're weeding people out that don't need to be in that core. Like my family members that I cut off. There's people that I've recently just cut off or not even communicated with as I used to communicate with. And that's just because I see you.
Mhm.
And I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. And no need for apologies. For
Right.
me, I'm good. Like, you
Absolutely.
stay there. I want to stay in my lane. Hey, you have a question or whatever, take it out with God or source or the universe.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna leave it like that.
Absolutely.
But people look at me as this nice person, but I got a mean streak to me too. So
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
you
You
got to
gotta you gotta stay firm on those boundaries. Like, your security is just as important as your compassion that you have for people too as well.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And relationships too. Um,
right?
and those expectations that you want to put out there in relationships, like you can kind of go in there, like, and there's people that's like, you got to go into a relationship without expectations. And
That's bull.
true to a
Bull.
certain degree, right?
No,
Right. What
right?
did you say? Yeah, I know you said
That's a
something.
BS. It's a bullshit. Bullshit.
Right. I'm all
Bullshit.
like, no, I expect this person to respect my boundaries as I
Yeah.
put them right there. Like there's certain boundaries that,
Right.
and you got to learn each other. The reason why they say go into it without an expectation is because there's just a process of learning each other. You got to
Yeah.
learn the things that you're willing to tolerate and not tolerate.
Right.
But you also got to hold firm boundaries with people. I've had women that's held firm boundaries with me,
Standards.
and they're like, the standard of being like, well, this is my friends, and and I like to hang out with my girls. Cool, I appreciate that. I can respect that because you told me, you
Right.
spoke to me. Communication is very, very
Oh
key,
yeah.
and very, very important with everybody
Yeah.
that you surround yourself with. Um, because if you don't communicate, it's how am I going to know? I don't read
That's true.
minds. I
That's
mean, I
true.
might get these tarot cards out and start being like, "Oh, okay, this is what this dude was talking about." Let me stop.
Right.
No, it's not like that. But yeah, it's a healthy way of being, basically,
Yeah.
more than anything.
Yeah. Make sure you take your shoes out at the front door, y'all. But I don't have any guests, so
No,
you're
okay,
good. No, but it's like one of those things. You have to take your
yeah.
shoes off. For me, it's a sign of respect, and I don't like germs. I don't like my house being contaminated. But anyway, moving to the next statement here. All right, which hits harder after a breakup, the glow up or the silence?
I mean, I'm an internal person. I guess the silence would. Yeah, I mean, like what from what aspect? Like when you're watching somebody else glow up, or or you see somebody else be silent towards you.
There, that
Okay,
part.
all right.
Mhm.
So when you're from your from my point of view and somebody's being silent to me, that speaks volumes. You know what I mean? I can care less about somebody's glow up. Good for you. Hope you glow up and you do whatever you need to do. I don't have anything to, it's telling when you're like, oh, look at
Right.
me, this, that, another. People are like, I'm healed, and they want to be like, oh, look at all these pictures of me. I'm guilty of it too. I don't know how many pictures I put of myself out there because I was a broken person. You know what I mean? I don't know how many times I was out there like doing all these things.
Hold on, hold on, hold on,
But
hold
guess
on.
what? But guess what? I'm, I can admit to it. I can tell you, I've done that. I've been there before. You know what I mean? Trying to make myself feel good by having people try to validate, oh, you so handsome and you so fine and you so this and you so, like I could, yeah, it is what it is. And it's okay for you to do it every once in a while. But when it's just like constant, like I need that constant, that's a whole nother thing. And then shouts out to the people that just don't need to do it at all. You know what I mean? It's like, screw
Right,
this. I can care less. My life is great. Good, good. I'm an entertainer. I'm gonna put myself out there. I have to. You know
right,
what I
right,
mean?
right.
Like, what am I gonna do? And I'm a fire sign, so you're gonna get double dose.
Right.
Like,
Hey, I put a lot of selfies out there. You know
there's
what's
nothing
so
wrong
funny?
with that.
You know what's so funny? So my son, right? Like when I first started this whole Instagram thing or whatever, he's like, "Mom, you acting like a teenager." I said, "Well, I didn't have a childhood." Click, click, click.
No, there you go.
It was so funny. He was like, "I understand, Mom. Go ahead with your selfie self."
But you have an image that you're selling. It's completely fine. It's another thing when you're all like, I'm not selling any image at all, but and it's okay though. There's again, there's no judgment there. Honestly, overall, like if that's what people want to do, it's what you want to do. But you got to
Right.
understand within yourself, why are you doing it? That's all. That's it. Are you doing it because you feel lonely, or are you doing it because you know what I mean? You feel good.
Yeah,
Honestly, feel good about yourself. Honestly.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? That's all it really boils down to. It's all up to you. You can do whatever you want.
right.
You can start OnlyFans and have at it. You know what I'm saying? Personally,
No, no way.
I'm just saying. I'm saying this is a world where it's like your will is free.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
So
no one
true.
should judge you upon your will, as long as
That's
you're not.
true.
And I say this, as long as you're not hurting yourself or
Mm.
others, the earth or animals.
Hmm.
Do what you want.
Okay. No, that makes a lot of sense.
Do what you want.
So true.
And when I say that, I mean like I mean that. Like
Yeah.
do what you want. Like that's you hold dominion over your life and don't worry about what other people think about that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a place of solitude and peace that you have to spend a lot of time with yourself to understand that you're okay with that and not worry
Right.
about the backlash of what people think. I'm like, who cares?
Yeah. I think I've been on a very non-caring way lately or these days. So like, do you boo? Uh that's just how I live my life. I
That's
mean,
all right.
you like
Ain't
it,
nothing
you
wrong with that.
don't, you like it, you don't. I mean, that's what it is. Um, so can you truly forgive someone if you never received an apology?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Because the forgiveness is not for them.
Yeah.
Forgiveness is for yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Forgiveness is letting go. Like,
Yeah.
again, you know what I mean? You can absolutely forgive somebody. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it shows with how you interact with that person if you see him again, or even if you don't see him again, how you move on with your life.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think I saw something that was all like, I think the guy was talking about it. And he was all like, when I see the one that hurt me and there's
Mm.
no reaction anymore. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like,
Hmm.
that's a good sign of saying like, "Hey, I've healed. I've done the work. I've looked
Yeah.
within, and I can see that I've made a good strides to becoming whole again. And now I can be
Yeah.
a person and I can live my life free." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of blaming the world that like you hurt me,
Let it go. Let it
let it
go.
go. Like, and I don't know how many times somebody has hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
Well, you hurt my feelings. What am I going to do? I'm
Facts.
going to take that hurt and that pain and I'm going to stack it up.
Yeah.
It's going to be a brick that I get to add to this house, this amazing thing that I'm building
Mm.
over here. That's what I do with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
And,
was
and
thinking, I'll be I was thinking like paintball. Paintball. You can stack up the balls and start shooting people in the paint, like
hey,
in the
it's,
paintball arcade, or whatever it is called. I don't know. I'm just
hey,
randomly,
it's an outlet. It works. It's an outlet.
but I heard it hurts though. I heard it.
I get. I don't know. I've never done it before. I couldn't tell
Me
you.
either.
You
But
know, I don't know if I want people hitting me and shooting me, and then I got a big old welt on my body. Like I don't know if I want that type of pain.
yeah, that's so true. My bad. I just it just
It's all
randomly
good. No
came
worries.
to my mind. Um, so when people say, right, I'm healing, do you believe them or do you think that's a code for I'm still stalking their page?
It depends. It really depends. And the reason why I say that is because
Mm,
you can say that you're healing. What does your
yeah.
life tell you? What is your life showing? You know what I
Mm,
mean? Healed people
mm,
don't really talk about how healed they are. They go in and
facts.
live life. They go and
Yeah.
enjoy life. They go in and work on their passion projects.
Yeah.
They're working the things that they love and they care about the most, and they don't worry about the rest of the stuff. That's
Yeah.
coming from a very healed, place. I've
Right.
had people look at me and they're like, "You seem very healed, and and I'm all like, I am. I'm happy. You seem very happy these days. And I'm all like, I am. I truly am happy. I'm really good with myself. You can go through a few things, and sometimes and don't get me wrong, there's still aspects of myself that I got to work on too. I'm human. I'm not some
Yeah.
ultra divine person that's just like, oh, he's just this. I'm just like the next man. Matter of fact, we all are connected. So I'm
Yeah.
only as healed as the next person. You know what I'm saying? Until we all really can come together and understand that concept of it all and stop living out of fear. That fear is the
Right.
one place that we got to stop living out of. We can't be fearful.
Right.
Even as there's things that go on, you can be cautious. You can be aware, You can do the
Hmm.
things that you need to know. But I don't know how many times people want to tell me, like, oh my God, you know what? Trump is doing this, that, another, yada, yada, yada. Like, I'm fully aware, guys. I don't need you to keep telling me about all these things. I'm
Right.
truly aware of these things. You know what I
Right.
mean? You got to understand where you working out of, and that goes
Yeah.
even in your relationships. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how many times I've had somebody, like, I've had to tell somebody that, like, I want peace in my life. I just need peace.
Yeah.
That's it. You know, if you can't provide peace, then we're not going to work.
Right.
You know,
Yeah. And we're not talking peace as in a piece of pie. We're talking peace, like,
right? Right, within the heart,
solitude, like,
really
yeah.
within you. And people think that, and peace can be boring, but people think that peace is like this
Oh, I love it.
place where it's like, oh, it's this majestic place that you go to, and it's just like birds flying, chirping, and stuff like. No, peace is like I'm in the fire, and it's not affecting me, and I'm not burning. That's when you're
Yeah.
at peace, because
Yeah.
the world is on fire constantly, 24/7.
Oof. No, for real. That's that. I'm glad that you brought it up. Right, like politics, religion, all these things going on.
Everything.
I call it noise. You
Yeah,
know,
there
because
you go.
like I don't. I get my feed from my phone. I don't watch the news. You know, or like I know what's going. Like you said, you're aware, but
And you don't
uh,
watch. It's not that you don't watch the news. You don't watch propaganda. You don't watch the BS
yeah,
and read between the lines of what's going on.
you sift through all that the bologna sandwiches, and I feel also even if you weren't like tuned in to that frequency because everything has a frequency, you still are aware. I don't know how to explain it. It's like a high your higher conscious already is aware because of the collective, if
Yeah,
that makes sense. So,
absolutely,
but
absolutely.
okay, so we're gonna talk about what we talked about last time, last episode, right? We're gonna dig deeper into real talk. um, was like, for instance, what inspired you to like revisit the topic, and was like a topic of like the relationship? Was it like unfinished business or new perspective? Like if you were in a relationship in your like previous relationships, right? um the whole real talk topic in regards to unfinished business.
Within a relationship, it's really boils down to the dynamic between men and women right now.
Hmm.
It's we have this fractured dynamic between us. You know what I mean? And it needs to be healed. That is one of the most necessary things that needs to happen right now. And I'm sorry, but we all have to look at ourselves in this whole entire situation. And I'm not saying that we can't own up. And when that are that's actually how you own up is looking in within yourself.
Mm.
Men got to do it. Men have to step up and be like, you know, um, I mistreat the I've been mistreating the women. I've been, you know what I mean, putting them at the back burner. I've
Yeah.
been doing all this for a long time, and then understanding where that's coming from. And women also
Mm.
got to look at it and being like, I got to own up to me telling this man that he's weak because was sharing his emotions. You
Mm.
got to own the fuck up. You know what I mean? If a man, I'll tell you one thing: if a man sorry, excuse my language,
So
but
you're fine. Go
this is
ahead.
where this is the part where I get the most fired up about, because
Okay.
one of the things you got to understand is we both have both sex, man and woman, how you both have both frequencies, both energies in you. You have masculine and feminine energies. A woman can be a toxic masculine person just as much as a man can, honestly. So you got to understand at what point are you operating out of. So, you know, you want your man to be more emotional, more, you know, tap into that feminine side and understand, like, if he's sharing something with you, you got something special. You know what I mean?
Right,
You
right, right.
hold into it. Don't sit up here and tell him that he's weak or he's whack or he's this or he's that. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like, yeah, then you're gonna fracture a man and he's gonna be like, well, all right, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Let me do what I need to do. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And then now you're going on, and this guy's going on and hurting everybody else. And we've all been there, correct? You know what I'm saying? We got to get out of that. You
Yeah.
got to get out of that. That's no longer it's going to work, and it's not going to fracture your masculinity. I'm sorry,
Mm.
fellas, but it's not. It's
Right.
okay for you to sit up here and be like, I'm hurt.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's okay for you to be like, I'm just, baby, will you just hold me? It's
Yeah.
okay. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's okay for you to share your feelings about things and be like, you know
Mhm.
what? I'm scared. I
Yeah.
can honestly tell you, I'm scared. I don't always have everything correct. And I don't
Mhm.
always have everything right. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's okay for men to come out and say that. Like you can.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay because our mental health is something that is of high importance these days.
Yes.
You know what I mean? On both sides of it. And women, it's okay. If you gain some weight, it's okay. If you, you
Yeah.
know what I mean, don't look like you did when you were in high school, that shit is okay. None of us do. You know what I
Right.
mean? I'll show you pictures of me in high school, and you'd be like, "What the heck? Like this, this young, like you look totally different, or whatever." Or a lot of people be like, "Nah, you just look the same." But regardless, the fact of the matter is, it's okay. It's okay, ladies. It's
Mhm.
okay. We see you. And men got to understand one thing: the feminine aspect of life needs to come back into the earth.
Yeah.
That is the part that is missing out of this whole entire point of it all,
Mm.
is that there's a lack of compassion and love. And that's
Yeah.
a very feminine energy. And we
Yes.
need to embrace that on both fronts. Women, it's
Yeah.
okay for you to, you know what I mean? You can lead. It's okay. Women, matter of fact, women are they're the gateway. They're the portals to life.
Mhm.
Honestly,
Yeah.
the womb is the portal to life. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? The man is the seed bearer. The woman
Yeah.
is the gatekeeper.
Yeah.
The life creates from that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We got to be able to work amongst one another and bring this energy back together and stronger than anything. Like,
For
and then
sure.
once you realize that you have that, once we can start realizing this and stop letting this dictator dictate everything that's going on, with us and being like, you know, we
Yeah.
want to yada yada yada. You just want to grab a woman by the vagina. Like come on, you're a gross bastard. Like get out of here. You know what I mean? You really are just terrible, honestly. Like, and it's okay. It's okay for you people that went out there and was doing, all the stuff that now you're looking at and you're regretting because you're seeing how things are turning out. It's okay for you to own up to that and be like, you know what, I messed up. Men, women, all of us. It's time.
Yeah.
It's a healing time. I don't care what
Yeah.
anybody says, but you're gonna start seeing more and more of this as a theme as
Yeah.
we move on. And don't lead in fear of it all. Lead by
Yeah.
faith of it all. That's why it says it right there
Yeah. Yeah.
in my caption. I lead by
That's for
faith
sure.
and not by fear, because fear is like whatever it is that I'm fearing. That's the thing I'm trying to have the most faith in. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? To be
Right.
like we can enrich each other and help each other and grow. You know,
Yeah.
because we need that. We need that energy. And there's some things that I study
Mhm.
that help center each other. It'll help center yourself and get you back calibrated, as
Mhm.
I can say, in this matrix. Because we are within a matrix, honestly.
We're a fractoid. We're a
We are
fractal. Excuse me. A
a
fractal
fractal.
of
A
this
fractal. Yep.
illusion or
Yep.
whatever.
We're a fractal of the illusion. And so the one of the things you got to understand is that you have to calibrate and recalibrate. Just like I don't know if you ever are like you get on your Google Maps or whatever. I don't know what maps people use, and it's all like it needs to calibrate, and it's all like you got to do that
Yeah.
for everything. Same thing with you. You
Right.
got to recalibrate. You know what I mean? And it's okay, like for us to just you take a step back and be like, how can I recalibrate my life? How can I recalibrate myself? How can I be more of this figure that I want to see myself be?
Mhm.
Listen to that higher self. Your higher self is there to help you, lead you along the way, not to lead you astray.
Thanks so much, Miss Elise. This is all in point. Definitely watching. Thank you so much for joining us, ma'am. We appreciate you. I'm gonna pin this. But yeah, for sure. And going back to the masculine and feminine, right? I believe that we need the balance. So it's the a perfect match or a perfect world, right? Perfect relationship, um, is when both parties, masculine, feminine, male, female, come together with their balance. So each one of us has our masculine and feminine side. So once it's balanced and we come together, it's like, whoa, can you even imagine? Can you even fathom that dynamic? I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
jeez, right?
yeah, yeah. That type of collaboration is what's missing. You know what I mean? They knew that if we are going to conquer people, the
Right.
very first thing you do is take the man out of the household. Take the
Hmm.
man, break him down, take him out of the household, make him go fight wars. You know what I
Right.
mean? Fracture this world, fracture the
Hmm.
family unit, the collaboration. Because once you fracture that collaboration, then we all get we're it's easier for us to control. You
Yeah.
know, divide and conquer. That's
Yeah.
what it's called, dividing and conquer. You know what I mean? Like that's just 100%. That's an art of war too.
Yeah.
That's part of it anyway.
As above, so below. And, going back and hopefully next year we could talk about this, but like the Anunnaki and Atlantis and a whole bunch of different things because we all came from um gods. Goddesses. But I'm not discrediting the biblical stuff and all these things. So I'm learning. I'm a hey, pioneer of my education. I love
You
learning
know,
stuff.
that one's going to be one that's going to be a very controversial one,
Oh.
especially when it's breaking down the unit of what you have known all your life. You're
Mm, mm.
born into it. The Bible, born into it. The Bible, the Christian Bible, um, and breaking that piece down. That's going to be something else where it's like,
Mm.
and I'm not breaking down the Bible. I'm starting from the beginning where the Bible why the Bible is and where it was written and where it came from. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
all the pieces to it that were just left out and why it was left out. You know, once we get into that, that's going to be something where people it's going to
Oof.
be it'll upset you. But
Oh yeah. Yeah.
remember I said there's that it's always chaos before before the calm. Like that's it. It's like it's destructive. It's going to be very destructive, but it's necessary change that needs to happen. And
Yeah.
it just is what it is. Like,
I'm just it's really interesting, to say the least. I mean, King James. I don't want to start this whole thing, but it's just it makes you because I was born and raised Catholic, right?
mhm,
I used to pray the rosary 13 times a day to go on the bus, praying my rosary. And my mom said, you're supposed to do this, da, da, da. Shoot, we used to have how they say bar hopping? We used to have church hopping. I mean, from 7 in the morning to like damn near 1, 2 in the morning. The net,
absolutely. Mhm,
we would kneel from the door all the way to the altar, praying our rosary, all the way to the altar. Each church, we would light a candle. You know what I mean? And then we'll go to another one until we reach from the southern hemisphere of the island all the way up to the northern hemisphere where my parents lived. So
yeah,
it's really interesting to me, and I need to shut my mouth because I I can't really do much, and I didn't believe in confessing my sins to a man. you know, if we have Jesus, if we have the Holy Spirit, why can't I just confess my sin or whatever to a higher up, higher than man? But anyway, I don't want to belabor, but it's really this is going to be a very I'm speechless right now. It's, my mind is like, ooh, you
It's
know.
okay. You got a lot. You got a lot that's there. It's okay. It's okay.
And how Adam was, you know. Anyway, yeah, how Adam entered this whole thing with the first man, but there was really people here already, or
Yeah,
beings, or
absolutely.
whatever.
No, go ahead. No, humans.
Anyway,
There were humans
so
here
anyway,
already. Adam was absolutely. Yep. I know what you're talking about.
oh my gosh, it's like a baby. It's like you're a babe and you're looking at it for the first time, and you're like, wow, now things are starting to. I mean, that makes sense. Yeah.
No, right off the jump, I will tell you that once we dive into that, people are going to be confused. Confusion is the very first sign to them. Like, I just don't understand. You know what I mean? But confusion is good. You know
Yeah.
why? People become intrigued when they're confused because they don't want to be confused anymore. They're going to be like, I need to understand. I need to put the pieces together. So
Yeah.
confusion is what we want, is for people to understand that, like, some of the stuff that you learned in life isn't what it really is. Like
Yeah.
learning about Christopher Columbus and how he never stepped foot on American soil ever. But yet and still, they needed somebody, to an external force yet again, to be like, Christopher Columbus was the one that founded America. And we just wrote that in there because it sounds good. Not the fact that he was sitting over here trying to find India. He found Indians, but not in America. And then he slaughtered them.
Right.
Like, no, get out of here.
Man. Okay.
Yes,
I didn't mean to.
it's okay. It's all right.
But at least this is an interlude, right? Kind of interlude-ish to the
Absolutely.
next episode. Moving on to relationships, right?
Yes, yes.
So
Yeah, go ahead because we're going to continue on.
you
I got
said
time today.
you said before that healing isn't linear, right? What did it look like for you between heartbreak and resilience? Or being resilient.
That's a great question. Between heartbreak and resilience. Understanding that your heart is broken, but you got to keep moving anyway. You got to still keep going through life and picking up the pieces, allowing it to heal more than anything. Don't mask it. You know what I mean? There's parts of it that's just, you got to expose. You know, I don't know. Me, as a person who's worked in the hospital for a long time, I learned that there's wounds that whenever these people get, like, I knew this person got shot in his gut for the most part,
Oh, wow.
and then it was just they had they're like, we have to expose it, you know, and it's crazy when you see somebody's gut wounds have to be exposed
Ooh,
because they have to heal from the inside out, and that is your gut. That is the place
yeah,
where your sacral, your solar plexus is at, right?
yeah,
And these are chakras that I'm talking
yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah,
People
yeah.
who don't know, but
Oh,
your sacral and you know what I mean. But they're like, it's so significant that when you get shot in the gut, that has to heal from the inside out. So it's
yeah,
exposed, and
yeah.
it's crazy to watch somebody's food go and be digested through their small intestines and their big and large intestines, and it's just
Oh,
exposed.
yeah,
And you're
yeah,
like, and I'm like, whoa! Like the first time I seen it, I was freaking out. Like, oh my god, we need to do something about this. I'm like, no, no, this is how it heals. You got to let it heal from the inside out. Same thing with your pain.
yeah, yeah,
You got to work on the inside of it in order for it to heal, to go, you know, and finally radiate back out. I'm healed, and you don't
yeah.
have to tell people that. People are gonna know when you're a
Mhm.
healed vessel, when you're a healed person.
Oh, yeah. And look, and I think that's why. So that I think I understand why some people don't want to shake your hand, or some people don't want to give you a hug, because you're, from my understanding, I'm not sure how many feet away, but your heart, right? Your frequency radiates like, I don't know how much radius or whatever, like, but I think it's a 10 feet. Anyway, I didn't look it up again. But basically, the frequency radiates outward. And so people that are close to you will feel it.
Hmm.
Like if you're just mad, or you're
Hmm.
whatever emotion you're going through, they're going to feel it. Like my kids, they already know, they'll just come and give me a hug. Or, my middle child, he's a hugger. So he'll just come and hug me, and he'll know, like, oh, mom needs a hug. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's one of those things, and so sometimes uh I do my best to be aware, to be calm or peaceful when I'm around people, because not saying that I'm a angry person all the time,
She's like, you don't
whatever,
want this smoke.
but but like whatever is with you, it jumps onto other people. So it's a really interesting dynamic, you know.
Absolutely.
And but anyway, I just thought of, like, we were talking about the guts, we were talking about organs, and then the heart. And I feel, and so also learning that when a woman is pregnant, they first conceive, the first organ, well, you know this, is the heart, that is
Absolutely.
that develops. And so um yeah, so anyway, I'm just rambling, but going back to like the whole pain and everything, right? When you're creating music, for instance, after pain, how do you decide what to keep private versus what to share with the world?
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna. That's. I mean, like that's. I don't really know. I mean, honestly, it's really to each and everyone's creative process for it.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, I'm not gonna tell you about me crying and then snot
Right.
running down my face and then bubbling in my mouth and blowing snot bubbles. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we could save that. We could save you
Right.
guys from me describing that in the song. I don't know. Some people they want that emotion all the way out there, but it really is
Mm,
just boils down to each and every person. Um, hell,
yeah.
like what's his name? Uh, I think Usher did it. These are my
Uh,
confessions.
oh yeah.
And, he's talking about his chick on the side, had a baby on the way, these and that. And I mean, granted, a lot of that probably wasn't true. I don't know, but
Right.
either way, he put it out there. He was all like, "This is me. I'm shedding my emotions out there. I'm showing you everything about me," which is, I think, is just completely dope person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Personally, like that's fucking dope. You're
Yeah.
able to
Yeah.
put that
Yeah.
shit out there and really
Yeah.
show it. Like, I mean, and then you think about it, Confession was a great album. Think about how
Yeah.
it did because he put his raw emotion on wax and was just
Yeah.
like, "Let's. This is me." You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think tapping into reality a little bit into that, like, it's definitely cool. Some
Yeah.
people want to be, they want to hold up a shield towards that portion of them when they're
You.
making their music because they're like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be so vulnerable.
Right.
I gotta put this tough guy persona on. And I was like, no, I mean, if it works for you, whatever. Or they'll be Waves and they just like are crying every single time they're on
Right.
there. Not to knock him, dude makes dope music, but I'm just saying.
Well, here's my confession. So, speaking about that song, like, I literally was living in that confession story. Well, not me, but my baby daddy, my oldest son's father. He was actually living that Usher song when I had gotten pregnant,
Mhm.
because he probably, I don't know, maybe he listening. You listening, Rob? Oops.
Oh,
So
damn.
you
I don't have nothing to do with this part.
look,
I don't
look,
have nothing to do with this
look.
part.
I was like, he came out that song that year. I was like, oh my god, I'm pregnant, right? And so he was with someone I didn't know, and she was pregnant too. So she was pregnant, and then 5 minutes. I was 5 minutes. Why I say 5 minutes? five, 5 months pregnant, and then I became pregnant. So that whole confession story, or that song when it came out, happened the same year. I got pregnant. I'm like,
Song hit
damn, I'm
hard for
part of
you,
this song.
didn't it?
I'm like, I'm
He's
part
all
of
like,
this song.
why Usher gotta be in my life right now? Usher he was
For
tapping
real
in.
though. For real. I was like, wait a minute, what's going on?
It's
But
called
yeah.
the hive mind. You're on that hive mind wavelength. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's my confession tonight.
I got a confession too.
Uh-oh.
My confession is I be staying up way too late. I need to take myself to bed. That's all you're gonna get out of me. I need to go to bed
Okay.
early. That's it.
Okay, my bad.
Get my rest.
Look, this has been a wonderful time, and I'm glad I was able to share my confession tonight. With that being said, let's go ahead and wrap this up.
Okay.
Okay,
I mean, I
what's
can go all night, but deal. It's probably best for us
is
to wrap
that
this
a
up.
song? Don't you have a song all night? Yeah,
Oh, all
that's a
night.
song.
Yeah, yeah. That's we're talking about something else now. We put the
No,
kids to bed now.
right, right.
Put the kids to bed.
What? So what's next for King Jacob in the coming year?
Next coming year. Okay. So I have I'm working on revamping and breathing life back into a clothing line that I had started back in 2020.
Okay,
It's going to tie in with my music and the King Jacob brand,
okay,
my LLC, and everything that I have through King Jacob.
uh huh.
That's part of the reason why I'm taking these classes so I can, you know, learn the better ways of doing things because, I failed um, the first time, but learned a
Right.
lot of good lessons through those failures.
Uh-huh.
And it wasn't even really that big of a failure, just things that I know that I need to do better. So I have that going on. I am currently working on a music project. I just wrapped up a song called Type Shit with Samal Lesage. So you should be hearing that soon. We're going to do a video for that too as well. Matter of fact, I got to send some once we get done with here, I got to send some vocals out to him too as well. He's in West Africa, y'all. Like he's
Oh,
on
okay.
there speaking Goon. Like we're in there. He's rapping in his native language. I'm rapping in my native language.
Oh,
I'm bringing it together back with to the motherland on this one. So it's
type
really dope.
shit.
Yep. And I
Type
already have a
shit.
snippet. It's
I
on my
love it.
page. It's on my page. I already have a snippet of
Okay.
some of the verse that I've got going on. Something to kick off. I also finished up a collaboration with Otis, One Truly Inspired Soul. Dude
Okay.
just has a fire album he's dropping. But we have a song called Always. I have a song with him out there. Look out for Otis too. He's doing big things. Shout out to
Okay.
my man. These are all people that I really care about in the music industry right now. There's a lot more people, so if I miss people too, like don't think like, oh, you don't care about me because you didn't say nothing. But shout out to Heavy Beats out there, Mile High Dream too. That's my dog. Like he's really good people too. Shout out to Zigzag, my man Zigzag's out there. Aco NASA, always salute. That's my
Yes,
brother out here.
Econessa, sir.
Yeah, yeah, that's my brother out here. You know what I'm saying? Hope we get back on some more tracks too soon. Um, Johnny Rockets, my man, he's the videographer for many of my bunch of my music. All the great people down at Anthem, all of them. Merch made it. Um, uh, you know, K.O. Kelly, he's out there. Got a chance to actually run into him and meet him for the first time. That's a character. He's a true artist too. Like, dude is dope.
Okay.
Everybody down at the Anthem recording. Uh, Zofia, she just dropped Diablo
Ah,
Blanca. So she's another
yeah,
person you could tap in with. She's really, and I love the fact that she's just really honing into what she does. You know what I
yeah.
mean? She's not allowing anybody to change anything she wants to do, and just being authentic and true to herself. You can tell that brings her a lot of joy. So it's really dope that she's doing that. Um, shoot, I'm getting back to coaching. We are the Montbello Warriors out here in Denver,
Okay.
Colorado. So, Lady Warriors basketball is about to get started. Warriors program in general, football, basketball, volleyball, yeah, all the sports that we got going on over there. Like, I'm super excited to get back into that. That's what recharging looks like.
Yeah.
Edifying my soul, working with the youth, and making sure that I'm, being of service. You got to be of service out in this world. So that's what I'm
Right.
gonna do. Make things jump off for everybody that I can.
Okay.
Each one, teach one. We got a lot of things. I'm still cooking. I got.
Oh yeah.
I am the king chef. You can
That's
follow me
right.
in there. I am the king chef. I got too many Instagram pages. I got I am the king chef. I got the Echo Union. I got the Your Heart, which I'll tap back into.
Wow.
Yeah, I got my private page. I got my I am King Jacob. Like it's a lot to keep up with, man. There's a lot
Yeah.
out here, along with all the other stuff. I've been traveling around the
Yeah.
world, excited to keep doing that. And then just being a good father. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because I'm
Shout
still
out to baby girl.
shout
Yep.
out to my daughter. She
Yep.
put up she put up with me. Um, I learned so much from her. Jordan, I love you. You are my
Aw.
you're the greatest creation. You know what I mean? And I really appreciate your mom for being the other part of that with me. You know what I'm saying? Because you are definitely one of the greatest people that I know.
Yeah.
And shout
Well,
out to
that's so
Elise.
sweet. Yes.
Ah, Elise.
Shout out to Elise. I can't wait. Hopefully, we'll have you on the show next year sometime. I mean, this is the last of our episodes. By the way, how has your experience been with NNO 360 for the past few episodes? I don't even I
Ooh,
can't count.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, man, and then no 360 has been um it's been great, you know what I mean? Talking about these tough subjects and then also being able to just talk about like new projects and all the things that are going on. I'll be back, of course. We're gonna tap into some
That's
other
right.
stuff and I love being just diverse and not just being a one trick pony that's like, yeah, I got some new music coming out, yo, you know what I'm saying? King Jacob, what you do this time? I press play and record. I press record and then so you can press play. I'm not gonna be like, no,
That is mind-boggling, but that's pretty cool how
you
you
know what I'm
said it.
saying? I'm just saying, like, I'm not gonna, like we do that all the time, and it's not to say that you shouldn't
Right.
be out here talking about your music. Like, people, you hone into your craft, definitely do that. Um,
Right.
I'm just a person that just can't just do one thing. That's all.
Right.
Um, but I'm not giving up in just one thing though either. I got a lot of things I just like to do, so it is
That's
what it
true.
is.
Some
Yeah.
people can't chew bubble gum and walk at the same time, though. We gotta.
Some people chew bubble gum, they drinking, they're on their cell phone, they're driving with their feet. You know what I mean?
I didn't think about that. Like, oh, that'd be an interesting episode. Um, okay. Well, with that being said, any wisdom you want to give the
Yes,
audience tonight?
yes, I do. My words of wisdom too, because people are like, um, give you some advice or whatever. Some advice that I would give you is just like stress less, love more. You have natural everyday stresses in life.
Yeah.
You don't have to get up and go to work. Car might break down. My car's in it. Got to go to the shop, so I'm stressed out already right now just because of that. But you
Yeah.
know, at the same time, like those are stressors that you have
Yeah.
nothing, control over. So let those things that you have no control over go to the wayside. Let it go. Obviously, not to not care about it, but don't let it affect your everyday so much that everybody's got to feel it. And then love more. You know
Mm,
what I mean? Show more compassion. Be patient
yeah.
with people. Not everybody is where you're at on your journey. Not
Yeah.
everybody might be as smart as you on your journey. They're not going to have the same knowledge as you on your journey, and people don't see things the way that you see them. If you want to be better at that, open up your perspective. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's everything. Some people are so locked into themselves, they don't want to see it from other people's perspectives. But some people are working through it themselves, which you should work through it
Yeah.
yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you should. That's very well. That's a very important thing is for you to work through it yourself and become a better person. So absolutely, just stress less, love more. Um, yeah, let's end this year on a high note.
Yeah.
And so we can go into 2026 and with good energy, good intentions moving
Right.
forward, especially in this political climate that we're in, that we all know about. Everybody knows about it. You know what I mean? Whether you're on one side of the fence or another. And honestly, this is one last thing I definitely want to say too. Bipartisanship in the political climate is something that's very necessary.
Hmm.
And I know people didn't want to hear when I said that like Donald Trump needed to be in office, and not to say that I wanted to see him there, but he needed to be in office so that you can show. It's like you need a shakeup, right? You need
Yeah.
that type of shakeup so you can be like, dang, we've let this go so crazy. Now everybody needs to come together. You know what I'm saying? And it really needs to happen right now. Now is time. This is just it. Our lives depend on it. The people we love depend on it. So come together, because I'll tell you one thing, mass genocide is definitely happening. It's definitely happening. And I know people want to be like, well, just another, because they're comfortable. They're in their circle, they're in their bubble, and they don't see the bigger picture
Mm,
of how it affects their lives.
right.
But it will touch you, no matter what side you're on. You know
Right.
what I mean? Healing is very important. Healing, healing, healing is very
Yes.
important. And don't hate somebody because of their beliefs. That's it.
Right.
Educate,
Right.
don't hate. You know what I mean? We still live in
Oh,
America where you can make these decisions, and our freedoms are just as that. But we need to
yeah.
change the way it's done. That's all it really boils down to. We
Well,
need a female president too. I'm gonna go ahead and say that as well. It's time, fellas, men, white men. You've been messing up, okay? And Barack Obama, you messed up too. I'm sorry. I gotta call everybody out. I'm sorry. It is what it is. Nobody's safe. Okay? I love to see a brother in there, but yo, everybody's messed up.
yeah, and hopefully next year we can really tap into maybe give a an understanding of how people can heal and maybe
Absolutely.
broaden their mindset on the illusions.
Yes.
Because
Yep.
everything that we're living right now, what like what we're touching our skin, just everything about us is a fractal of the universe of
Yep.
who
We're
we really are.
yes. We're very limited, and people don't understand like what you truly are as a being in this life. You're extremely limited
Just
in this meat suit that you're in.
yeah, you're just like a dust away,
But you can tap into some higher
stardust
levels of yourself. So for sure.
for
I
sure.
appreciate you though, Annette. And
Well,
Annette of In the Know 360. I appreciate you every single time. You are doing some amazing work. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't thank you more.
Well, thank you. And you heard it here at NNO 360. Please also continue to support the Unity for Social Justice and for our youth, because there are future leaders. This has been a broadcast of showing love full circle between NNO 360 and King Jacob.
Hey,
Y'all tapping with him. All right, much love. Thank you so much, Miss Elise, for joining us tonight as well, dear. And God bless. Talk to you later. Salute.
salute.
And don't forget to tap in and watch the new film documentary. It's really a movement called Put the Guns Down, A World Epidemic, produced by Ice-T and directed by Harry C. Carney Sr., director of the film documentary Put the Guns Down, A World Epidemic.
So we're definitely looking for backers to be able to invest into this film. We're looking for executive producer, associate producers, on-set experience as well. That's also a reward that you're able to get. So if you invest into Next Lifetime, you will be, featured on the end credits. Of course, the higher the tiers, the more involved you will be, the more signing as far as like poster signage that you get from the cast and crew. And yeah, man, this is just the process of building something very special. This is the beginning, especially if you're watching this and the movie's already out. You already did your research on Next Lifetime. You just watched it, like, I got to see more. This all started as a dream before you watched it in theaters. And just always believe in yourself, right? Just believe, have the audacity to start. Don't filter yourself no matter what it is.
What's up, babe?
What are you doing?
I'm training your mom.
So, how can schools, right, communities, and organizations become proactive, not reactive when it comes to like violence prevention?
I think they should allow platforms like us into their facility. You know, somebody that can bring that different dynamic, because if like technically that's where the misbehaved children first go. That's the school.
Right.
So that's one of the places that they have to be at first. And a lot of these schools, like, come on, you got 23, you got 30 students in a class. You know what I mean? How can that one teacher provide that one-on-one that a lot of these students need? We teaching financial literacy starting at 8 years old.
That's great.
Hit that real world on their own.
Yeah.
They already know what to do. They already, they know credit, business credit, how to structure their brand, and
Yeah.
even with a lot of these these entertainers, these young entertainers that's under their parents, it's a lot of the parents that can receive some of this valuable information.
People will tell you all kinds of stuff because they're not doing it.
Right, exactly.
And not only that, we need more people to do it, so that way we can come together as a community, because we need these leaders. We need people to be out here and shepherding our youth, right? The babies that need our help and attention, because they don't have any guidance here, but we need the leaders to give the guidance.
Yeah.
And you being one of them. So I applaud you for that.
Appreciate it. Yeah, and I took the initiative to reach out to people. And the Lord, he has his way of finding the like-minded people and aligning me up with them. So, I got sponsors by nonprofits like Philly Woods 7. Shout out to Sean Frog Banks.
What would real gun violence prevention look like if it was centered healing, as which we were talking about, not just policing?
So when you focus on healing, and not, because we were talking about it earlier, that's a system disruption. That's a system disruption. It's focused on, it's funny, everything that's wrong with it, you see it now. It's focused on policing. What people get tired of being afraid. They rise up. Everything in history has taught us that. That's why my mentality is not how it make me feel. There's statistics and numbers for all of this stuff. So show me how it works. Show me how policing has dramatically not only decreased gun violence, but maintained that decreased stance wherever you're talking about it was decreased at. You don't get both of them. You get one of the two. Yeah.
So why do you think we still treat emotional intelligence like a luxury in schools, and what's the cost of ignoring it?
The stuff that we see happening in the schools, that's it's funny having this conversation with professionals, because I worked in that environment, right? I understand the politics of it. And I think a lot of times when people talk about their frustrations with school districts and what's happening in the educational realm or what's happening with youth, they miss that part. Your educators, the people that's in those spheres, are limited in what they do and what they can do. So being an individual who understands that, but now kind of operates in a role capacity, I get to kind of call that for what it is. And that's the problem. As long as you treat it like emotions don't matter, you'll experience relationships, conversations, and opportunities, everything. Like, find something to be grateful about. It'll help you with your anxiety. It'll help you with your anger, your depression, jealousy, anything. You have so much in your life to be grateful about. Do your best to find it. Get a sheet of paper every day. Write down 10 things you're grateful for. The way the wind was blowing. It don't got to be super deep. The way the wind was blowing. You're grateful that your family caught. See? Look at that. See? That's what I'm saying. That's an orange on a vine, Alicia. That's an orange on a vine. See that? See that right there? Look at that. Be bold. See that? Get that orange and put it on the vine, guys. You take that orange and you put it. Don't you listen to the Alicias.
Check, my draft class ain't got shit to do with my skill set. Baseline corner, mid-range assassin, I'm still with. Box in the corner, please ain't even worth my brim sweat.